Very good evening to everyone who is there in the call today. I hope everyone is doing great. Uh, Today, in the Regal live series, episode 70, I have the honor of hosting Mr. Prakash Seshadri. A little bit of introduction about Prakash. So, Prakash is an experienced business leader who is also a coach. He has been a CEO of various business entities over the last 25 years. His work is focused on climate investing, strategy, project management, and operations. Prakash is also a certified coach with the International Coaching Federation since 2021. He is an alumnus of the prestigious IIM Bangalore and the College of Engineering, Trivandrum. A very warm welcome to you, Prakash. Is there anything that you would like to say?
Thank you, Kriti. It is lovely to be chatting with you again, this time live. So let us see how this goes.
Yes. So, to our audience, you must be thinking, what is our topic for today? We will talk about how does coaching transforms the coach? How can it be a catalyst for self development? Now, we always are dumbstruck by the power of coaching on our customers or coaches. We always speak about how coaching can be transformative, how it can provide new pathways for thought and action, and so on. We also speak a lot about how coaching is not mentoring, coaching is not training. There is a little triangle of coaching where there is a customer or coachee, and there is a coach, and there is a process around it. Interestingly, we have never spoken enough about what does it mean for the coach? How does this whole coaching journey impact the coach? So this is our topic for today. Anything you would like to add on, Prakash?
No, excellent. Let us dive deep in.
Okay. So my first question to you is, would you like to share with the audience how did you take up coaching?
Yeah, that's a long story, but I will keep it short. Um, See, many things in life actually happens by accident. I mean, you don't really plan for it. So once when I was discussing with a close friend of mine as to, hey, I'm planning to do a sabbatical, um, etc. She came up with this idea that, hey, maybe you should actually take up coaching. So I told her that, what is coaching? I'm already coaching a lot of employees. I'm building my organization. So how is this going to be different? She said, no, this is not what you think or what you do in the organization typically. And she recommended that I go through the ICF certification process. So that was a seed which was planted in me. I did not really take up an action immediately. But then what happened was, in 2020, as you know, we had the COVID pandemic, and I also ended up uh, taking the sabbatical. And then this seed kind of germinated and said that, hey, now why don't you do something about it? You're sitting at home. So that is how we started, and you were there also part of the cohort. Uh, we started training together to get certified as a coach in the ICF way, not as a coach as I would have understood. Uh, and then of course the process went on for 6 months, and then I think both of us got certified in 21.
So COVID did bring in the best in a lot of us.
Yeah, that's true.
So the next question for you is that how was it for you in the initial months of coaching as a part of your training? You did mention that, you knew about coaching, but in your own way.
Right. I mean, it was a kind of revelation because I mean, it is like, let us say you have been driving a car in a particular way, and somebody comes and tells you that, hey, what you have been told about driving the car is all humbug. you will have to relearn how to drive the car. Imagine some kind of a situation like that. It was exactly like that for me. So we were asked to kind of practice silence 80% of the time, and probably I was speaking 80% of the time in the beginning. I was also interrupting, which is maybe there was an anxiety to be heard. Maybe I felt that, hey, this particular problem that people are presenting to me, I already know the solution. So let me give them the solution and end of story. Let them go ahead and implement it. Right now, over a period of initial training and the coaching hours, I kind of discovered that this is really not having any effect on the person. Uh, they were probably expecting something different. The process was entirely different. And at the end of the day, you also realize that my kind of an approach to a problem is from my perspective. It is really not, the solution is not really from their perspective. And second, of course, is if the person comes up with the solution themselves, there is much better chance of it actually getting into action. So these were really the initial days. I mean, I think I would say that there was a lot of unlearning to be done, fundamentally to shut my mouth.
I can assure you it was not only you, it was me and many others as well. So shutting mouth is difficult even now.
Yeah, that is true.
Yeah, and unlearning, that's the key.
Absolutely. I fully agree with you. Uh, you were also part of the cohort, so I'm sure a lot of this would have also happened to you.
Definitely. Okay, so after this entire process of becoming a coach, what did you learn to do differently?
Yeah, see, I think it is a question. I'll really start from some of the learnings which happened as part of the process. So we had a mandatory book reading, if you remember, and uh, by by again good luck, all the books were good, but I had I was given Carl Rogers on becoming a person, and it is a very heavy book, very long one, and and I just wanted to read one of his great lines in the book, which said, "A good life is a process, not a state of being. It is a direction and not a destination." So, what essentially the takeaway for me was there is this great urgency to see results in our clients. Right now, coaching is actually a process. It is not forcing a result on the out on at the end of the coaching journey. So fundamentally, this whole thing also even applies to life. I mean, you have a direction. You may reach your destination, or you may reach your destination today. You may reach it tomorrow. You may never reach it. Right. So that was for me one of the big fundamental shifts that happened. And then I kind of imagined that I am somebody who is creating an igloo, a safe space for the person, being available, right? Uh, and telling them that, hey, I'm there for you. I may push and prod and then give you some nudges here and there, but the hard work will actually get done by you, not by me. Okay. So there was this kind of detachment, if you want to call it that, which happened at that particular point in time, and that for me was very transformative. Okay, so that is the basic thing. Now I just wanted to bring in, because this is a book which I keep going back to, so I kind of picked up a couple of more quotes from the book for the benefit of the audience. uh, he says, the degree to which I can create relationships which facilitate the growth of others as separate persons is the measure of the growth I have achieved in myself. And he also says that if I let myself really understand another person, I might be changed by that understanding. And we all fear change. So, as I say, it is not an easy thing to permit oneself to understand another individual. So, it really puts the coach in perspective of also changing or also threatened by the other person to change. And that openness is also something which in the act of coaching we all pick up. Okay,
Mm.
I think it is ultimately a mindset as to how we approach this whole subject. So that was, I think, one of the most critical turning points in my journey of becoming a coach. And later on, of course, I had the opportunity to listen to Marsha Reynolds and read her book. And she makes another very important statement. Uh, Mastery in coaching, including personal mastery, is to focus on presence, which is the igloo that I was referring
Mm.
to earlier, and not to perfect the skills. I mean, in the sense, you can have all the skills that you need, but if you are not present, then I don't think we are really going to make any difference to our clients. So huge amount of unlearning for sure, and thereafter also the discovery that this is not. I'm an engineering student fundamentally. This is really not a science. This is an art, and the more we practice, the better we become.
Correct. Yes. It is an art. I definitely agree with you. And the safe space is all we are looking for, even as coaches.
Absolutely,
So,
absolutely.
and you got the best book, by the way, and you did justice to the book.
Yeah, I mean, it was again providence, right?
Okay. So, my next question to you would be that you've been a business leader for several years.
Right.
How this entire process of becoming a coach impacted your leadership style?
Yeah, I mean, there are quite a few things which you. I mean, I was recently um at a session with a bunch of leaders, and one of them made a comment that when I'm sitting in my room, when people queue up outside, they have a problem. They expect to walk out in 5 minutes with a solution.
Mm, yeah.
Okay. So, what is the natural thing for you to do is give the solution, which is fundamentally your truth or your perspective of the problem. So, the change for me was, can I actively listen? I mean, that is one real change that happened. I mean, you have to consciously focus on what they're saying, why they're saying. Um, and I was reading yesterday about um, Tirukural, which is basically Tiruvalluvar's book in Tamil Nadu. One of the Kurals actually talks about listening, and this is basically the second section of the book, which is advice to the king. So it says, "You've got ears," and I'm translating it very loosely. You've got ears, and listening fundamentally is worth its weight in gold, much more than anything else. So listening was clearly one, and the second is, I mean, in my investment journey, there are a lot of people who come in and say that, hey, will you invest money in my idea or my project? Um, Instead of either rubbishing them or praising them, I think the better way is to ask a lot of questions, uh, which is essentially to open up their thinking so that they realize whether they are bullshitting or they are fundamentally making sense or they need to change their whole approach to whatever product or project that they are pursuing for an investment journey, right? And So this is, let us say, listening and doing a lot of questions or giving them perspectives is one way to kind of look at that journey. The other thing, of course, is really about not trying to bring our biases onto the table, right? So with more experience, you come with a lot of bias, whether it is people bias or whether it is situation bias, and the ability to keep quiet and make sure that your biases are not coming in the way of new ideas getting generated. That has been the toughest kind of transformation. Uh, you already make up your mind before you walk into
Yeah.
the room, right? What the outcome should be, and you need to tell your mind to shut up at that point in time.
Yes, I think you touched upon excellent things, biases and silence, listening, powerful questioning, excellent tools which
And
are
how has it been for
used.
you, Kriti? I mean, I think you also have gone through a similar journey. So would you agree? Would you want to add anything more to this?
Well, I agree 500%. I would say, coach training or the process of becoming a coach was transformational for me in a similar way. There was a lot of unlearning, as you rightly said. It had a profound impact on me, and I did enter into coach training with one of my key intentions was to develop myself. I've been in HR for several years, in various roles, and I was really looking for some meaningful skill development. And I'm really happy that I jumped into this. And I also jumped during the, COVID period along with you. Uh, we deal with a lot of people, business leaders, stakeholders. After this entire process, my approach changed, my perspective towards situations and people changed, and then definitely translates into what I do, how I do. The outcomes were different. So I think I see ICF competencies as little wisdom nuggets which we can infuse in our work life, even in our personal life. So
Right.
excellent journey for me. And as you said, it's not a destination, it's a journey. Even after so many years, I'm still learning.
Excellent. Absolutely.
Okay, so now back to you. In this entire process, what have you learned, and eventually, what have you become?
Yeah, I mean, again, you are still evolving. You're still evolving as a person. So I think the first is you learn a lot of humility because you think that you have reached a particular destination, you have conquered the world, whatever. But then people come with all sorts of issues when they come to you as an employee or when they come to you as a client, and you feel that you're kind of blessed in one sense. Um, the second is something which I kind of attributed a little while ago when I said the process is actually more important. Uh, the uh, process of coaching, the process of helping others find their path, is important rather than putting too much pressure on the result, right? So I think that is a great way to live life as well.
Yeah.
Um, so we have kind of I had a very long uh, story lined up, but essentially anything that you do in life, I guess you basically have to attribute it to the process and then forget about the result. This is all what the great teachers also teach us, right? And and then of course, if you want to become a newer person as you continue your journey, there is also has to be a lot of reflection in
Yeah.
terms of that self reflection is something which is fundamental to this whole coaching journey. So when you want to be uh, in a position to be empathetic with others. We also need to figure out what is working for you, what is not working for you, what is it that you need to undo as you progress, and what you need to kind of repeat. So that self reflection is also a process which uh, I have kind of imbibed, but like you said, it is nothing is perfect. There is a long way to go.
Yeah, I think self reflection is a very powerful tool for us coaches.
Right? Absolutely, absolutely.
So I'm sure that people who are listening to us and our audience, definitely there are some budding coaches. What would be your advice to them?
Yeah, I think there is one myth which I would like to kind of explore, which is that you become a coach because you want to change the lives of others and you want to become successful. I mean, I really don't think if you approach the coaching journey with that mindset, I don't think you're going to become successful. The way to look at it is, can this coaching journey make a better me, or better myself? How can I become better with this coaching journey? Because at the end of the day, the clients are really not going to look at your CV. They're going to look at you as a person. So the whole process of becoming whatever certification you end up taking, that process of certification is a process for self improvement. So my advice, or one single advice, would be not to worry about what is going to be my positioning, how am I going to market this, how am I going to get my clients. I mean, all those things will happen, but focus on trying to become a better you through the coaching process.
And that's a very apt and beautiful advice. Thank you for saying that out loud.
Yes.
So, probably the last question. Uh, how do you see, coaching in organizations?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think we have time. I think that is a big topic by itself. Maybe we will chat on this some other time, Kriti. But what I would like to say is, there are so many changes that are happening externally, whether it is technology, whether it is geopolitics, whether it is the young generation coming into the workplace. Organizations need to become agile, and
Yeah.
command and control is obviously out of the window. So, and critical to becoming agile is, how do we develop people, and that has
Yeah.
become far more important today than ever before. So, I think if leaders adopt uh, coaching as one of their armory, I'm not saying that every conversation needs to be a coaching conversation. If they understand what is coaching, adopt it wherever appropriate, I think they will make a huge difference, not only to themselves but also to the organization that they are working. But like I said, that's a big topic. Maybe we will definitely reserve some time in uh, one of the future conversations.
Agree. I'll just add on to that topic, what you said. Command and control is out of the window, and, leaders have to adopt. Maybe with my experience, I see a little gap here. Not only the leaders, I think it has to come down one or two levels. Uh, the line managers, the people managers, the human resource team, or any other role in the organization which touches people. There will be immense benefit if we can build a coaching mindset there.
Absolutely, well said. And I think it has to kind of start from the top and then walk down the entire length and breadth of the organization. Right.
Yeah, so we are nearly at the end of our session. Do you have any closing remarks for our audience today?
Yeah, I think uh, fundamentally, embrace coaching, like I said, as a tool for self development. And in the process, I'm sure people who become coaches can impact not only the clients, but also the families that they live in and all the relationships that they value. So it is not really, coaching is not only for developing business leaders. It is really something that fundamentally touches every aspect of our life.
Agree. And so well said and nicely put. Thank you so much, Prakash, for sharing your insights with us today. And I hope our audience were able to find the conversation enriching. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining us today. There are a few questions. Prakash, I don't think we have time. Maybe we can reply on LinkedIn. You can do that.
Absolutely. We'll do that. Thank you, Kriti, for hosting and asking all the relevant questions. Thank you so much. It was a pleasure to be here.
Same here. It's an absolute pleasure to reconnect with you.
Thank you.
Bye
Bye
bye.
bye.
Good night, everyone.